you're gonna come down onto your back. If you know how to get there through side bow, letting your ribs move you instead of your head, do that. Otherwise, just roll down onto your back. The first step is softening. We hold our body for two main reasons. The first one is because of all the ways we've been told of how we're supposed to hold our body, and then we start unconsciously holding that at all times. The second reason is unprocessed emotion. So you might not be able to relax all the way right now, that's okay, but you're gonna do your best to soften from your feet, through your legs, your pelvis, your rib cage, your neck, your brain tissue, your eyeballs, your tongue. Let your jaw open, the tongue comes to the roof of your mouth behind your front two teeth. It's not pushing forward onto the front two teeth ideally, but if it is right now, that's gonna change once we get a bow in your body. The arms are soft, the hands are soft. And the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna let our low back curve. Now, this doesn't mean that you're gonna contract your low back. So these muscles here, these are your erectors. This is crazy, but you're not gonna use them at all. I want these to stay soft the entire time, okay? So the way that you let that curve come into your back is actually by pushing your feet and your knees forward so that your thigh bones, the back of your thigh bones here, which is like your butt area, that is gonna go down towards the floor. So I'll show you. Feet and knees forward, thigh bones go back. And do you see how that naturally makes more of a curve in my low back? Then you're gonna keep that and take one hand and reach down, grab your butt tissue and pull it up towards your head. You're kind of leaned over to the side, so you can do that, right? And you're gonna lean back onto that butt tissue to hold it up there and then release your hand. And then you're gonna do the same thing to the other side. And that also gave me a deeper curve in my low back without me contracting my low back to do that. And the belly is stretched open and long. Then what you're gonna do is you're going to make sure that curve is coming all the way up to the level of T12, which is right where your rib cage starts. Then you're gonna let that curve come into your neck. So that means you're gonna let the top of your ears tip back in space. Do you see how that automatically opens the throat or feel in your own body? And sometimes this feels really tight at first, so if you need to use your hand at all to kind of soften that tissue, do it. So now we have this nice curve in our low back, we have this nice curve in our neck. So good. And then from here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start expanding your rib cage. Now the ribs come all the way down to about where the bottom of my crop top is. You're gonna start on the back of your rib cage, and without changing the curve in your spine, meaning there's still that nice curve, you're gonna start to expand the back of your rib cage with your breath down into the floor so that your ribs are actually getting wider apart from the front and back direction, but then they're also getting wider apart side to side. So it's really like you're expanding in 360 degrees. We're just starting on the back body first. So that would be half of 360 degrees. And you're gonna expand the ribs all the way up the back in between the shoulder blades so that the shoulder blades feel like they're gonna start to come apart. Now this is a wild feeling for most of us because we're so used to moving our shoulders to change our posture or to hold ourselves up. You're gonna keep your shoulders chill AF, okay? Your shoulder muscles aren't gonna do anything. What's gonna happen is as the ribs expand, it's gonna feel like your shoulders are gonna come up towards your ears and wide. So that that cue of pulling your shoulders down your back, you don't ever have to do that again, okay? And this is how you're actually gonna get softness in the muscles of your shoulders and your neck, because you're taking up the space that you were made to from the inside of your body, right? This is how animals are. They don't get small at life, right? They're not like holding themselves in this compression. If you watch, like, think about an octopus that's filling up with water and its whole body expands, or even a snake, right? When it comes up, when it's getting ready to bite, it gets really big and wide. That's the sort of feeling. And you know you're doing it right when you feel like you have to lengthen your back further up because it feels like you're getting taller. But you want to keep that curve in your low back. The belly is all the way soft. Good. One more metaphor that's really helpful is it's almost like your shirt that's on a hanger, right? We're expanding the hanger, which is the rib cage, but your shoulders, which are the shirt, isn't going to move. And you're going to do that all the way up to the ribs underneath the base of your neck. And sometimes it's helpful to even take a hand, because we're very disconnected from this part. I know this took me a while. Take a hand up there in between your shoulder blade and your spine, right under the base of your neck, and feel how your breath can expand that tissue. So again, the shoulder gets wide and it comes up towards your ears. And then you're going to do it on the other side, expand it wide and up towards your ears. And so right now the front body might be a little bit closed. That's totally okay, because now what we're going to do is we're going to expand the front of the ribs. What I've noticed is that most people are pretty good at expanding the bottom of the ribs, and they actually overexpand the bottom of the ribs and underexpand the top of the ribs. So if you can imagine, we're creating a seed or an egg shape with your rib cage, and we want the widest part of that egg to be up here by your heart. So we're not gonna overinflate the bottom. There is width in the bottom of the ribs, right? But it's not excessive. And then we're gonna come up underneath the breast tissue. That's gonna get wide and open. This will literally give you a breast lift. And then you're gonna come up, and you're more than welcome to use your hands and feel into those armpits. You're gonna expand the rib cage wide and open. And this shit is subtle, okay? But once you start to do it, it's gonna get much, much easier to feel. Expand all the way up. Into these ribs on the top here and into the collarbone. So now you're holding this big C shape with your ribs. Most people at this point are still going to deflate when they exhale. So we're going to let that go for a moment. And now we're going to take the hands, we're going to make a C shape like this. You're going to put your thumbs in your back and your fingers in your front. And you're going to breathe with your diaphragm. This means that your fingers are going to expand with your breath and contract with your breath. But it's not you. There's actually no effort being done on the exhale. So this is a crazy concept, especially if you've been a yogi. This is not the deepest breath of your life, okay? You're literally letting the earth breathe you. Meaning, you're trying to not let the hair in your nostrils move as you breathe. And it's just like inhale for 3-ish, exhale for 3-ish. It's super mellow and easy. And it's going to feel like you're breathing down into your butt, into your pelvic floor, into your hips, into your belly, into your sides, into your low back. So I want you to do that for a few counts. Get that in your body. This easy, expansive breathing in and out through your nose. Because now we're going to combine those two things. So again, you're going to fill up your ribs, starting on the lowest back part of the ribs, filling up wide back and open all the way up your back. In between the shoulder blades to the base of the neck, come to the front of the ribs, wide front, open. Increasing the diameter of who you are, letting it come from your heart, who you are and why you're here on the inside. Good. The shoulders are totally soft. And then I want you to notice if you try to keep that expansion and breathe with your diaphragm, meaning the ribs are not going to collapse as you exhale. It can be really helpful to put your hands on your chest right here. This is usually where it will collapse on the exhale. Fill it up wide and keep it wide as you breathe. Easy, gentle breaths. The earth is breathing you. Your body was made for this. Good. And what we're doing here is we're priming our body, because this is how we want to be breathing throughout all of our movements. I want you to check back in and notice if your low back curve flattened. I want you to let that belly soften, let it tip forward a little bit more. You could even reach down and pull the butt up again. And you'll notice that when that pelvic floor tips open, it's easier to breathe with your diaphragm. So staying big in the ribs, breathing down into your butt, your back, your sides, your belly.